Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'aventure? Ah, monsieur le président, un pauvre qui vote ou celui qui l'a rendu pauvre. Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'étranger? Ah, monsieur le président, à l'Assemblée, il y a un Dieu. Vraiment. Au Sénat, il y a un Dieu. Wonderful. À la présidence, il y a un Dieu. Dans tout le gouvernement, il n'y a que des vieux, des vieux, des vieux. Des jeunes prennent le chemin de la Libye pour devenir des esclaves. Des jeunes prennent la route du désert pour entrer en Europe.
Hi, good day, the beautiful people of the Cameroon. Good day, the beautiful people of British Cameroon and the beautiful people of La République du Cameroon. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a party political broadcast by myself, Maître Mola Alex Ndive Lisinge, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Today, I have come to talk about the qualities of a leader. That's, let me say, a president of a country. The reason I want to talk about this today is because every day I sit and I wonder and I think, why is Africa so backward? Why is the mother of all continents so backward? Why our kids running away from Africa and they are dying in the Mediterranean? Ladies and gentlemen, it's about to understand the art of politics and to think outside the box. When you look at president leadership in Africa, you look Samuel Doe, Valentine Strasser, Mobutu Sese Seko, Eyadema, Museveni. You can name the rest, including modern African president. Do any of them inspire me? I will tell you no, and I will tell you why. We have failed to think outside the box in Africa, especially the Cameroons. We have accepted the narrative that was given to us by the Muzungus. I've learned outside college, university, than what I learned in college, because I would call it, they were hypnotizing us. If you look, most countries in Africa, most people will say we have independence and they celebrate independence. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, where on earth that you have independence and the country that colonized you, you come and exchange flag, oh, I've given you independence. That's not independence, ladies and gentlemen. When the Americans, they turned against the British government, there was no exchange of flag. It was independence. They said, get out from my country. When French Revolution took place in France, they say all these dictators, absolute monarchy, we want all of you out. Be patient, my lord, your turn is coming. New people came in. It's not like what I see in the Cameroons we call politics of personality called. People come and say, vote for, example, Maître Mola Alexandre Singer, I will change the Cameroons. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't believe an individual, a single person can change a country. When you see people, they just appear because there's going to be an election in the Cameroons in May. They just appear from nowhere and say, oh, if you vote for me, I will change the country. Ladies and gentlemen, in the United Kingdom, the Prime Minister cannot change the country alone. In the United States, the President cannot change the country alone. In most Western democracies, no president will ever come and vote and say, vote for me, I will change the country. That's what I see in the Cameroons. Politics of personality called. People who don't know their left and right. Ladies and gentlemen, you can only successfully change a Cameroon or a country by working as a team. And I don't mean a team in social media. I don't mean seeing people that you don't know, people that you don't know their character, people that you have never met and say, let's come together. No, you form a team. In the Cameroons, more than 30 years ago, when I used to fight in Guakele or the Anglophone problem, we were all a team. We knew each other. We worked together. Whether it's the Francophone brothers or Anglophone brothers, we knew each other physically. And it was successful. That is why we had things like multi-party politics. That is why we had GCA. That is why we have Boya University and other universities. Because you have to know people. Today in the Cameroons, I see people, they come and say, oh, let's form a coalition. The opposition, let's come together. These are people who are political norm-strong and they are naive. You don't know people, you want them to come together. There are some of us who have been working hard with our political party, planting the seed for more than 35 years. Then you just appear from somewhere. Let's do a coalition. Let's do this. It doesn't work that way. I've made this clear. The Scottish National Party wanted independence in Scotland. What did they do? They created Scottish National Party in 1934. Then they joined with another party. Is it Scottish National Party is different from that? In 1934, they started working hard. And look at where they are today. They run the parliament in Scotland. You don't come under 12 months and say, oh, let's come together. Let opposition to join. As an opposition in the Cameroons, do you have more than one vote? Or do chiefs in the Cameroons, do they have more than one vote? So why do you want to come together with people that you don't know if they have memberships? With people that you have never heard about their political party? If anyone was ever serious in the Cameroons to create a coalition, on the 11th of October 1992, when Mr. Biya won the election, you would have created a coalition, 1992, and started working for it, working for something. But they did not. Because the same people who left CNU rebranded CPDM, the same people left because we fought for multipartyism and created SDF. So they did not want to hear any person to talk. I'm coming back to the quality of a president. They did not want any person to talk. Just like in the 1950, 1966, when some people went and joined Aijo and created CNU, they did not want people like Dr. Endeli to talk. And that attitude continued today. These intolerant people. Because you were born in Northwest and Southwest British Cameroon, it doesn't mean you know the British value. It doesn't mean you are living the British value. I'm living in London. I've lived half of my life in the United Kingdom, and I'm living that value. Even if you read the Constitution of La République du Cameroon, people are entitled to their individual opinion. People are free to associate with who they want. When people don't want to associate with you, because since 1992, all you do is politics of personality called Bia, Fundi, Kamto, Ugwenlek, Bello Buba, Chiruma. You don't talk about policies. British Cameroon National Party have introduced policies and manifesto. Everybody is talking about it. The problem is we don't like to follow. We like to lead. We like to copy people's intellectual property. We don't give credit to them. And British Cameroon National Party is a party, the only party that will change the Cameroons. We talk about Anglophones. But when I look, about 80% of Anglophones, they don't know what is Anglophone values. They harass people. They call people blackleg. They say enabler. People you don't know. Political opinion is an individual opinion. It's not a collective opinion. It becomes collective to a greater extent if you create a political party and you make sure you appeal to people who have the same or similar opinion with you. It doesn't work that way in the Cameroons. When you see people fighting each other, they don't know the British value of individual liberty. When you see people fighting and insulting each other in the Cameroons, they don't know the British value of mutual respect. When you see people calling people they don't know, they don't belong to the same association or organization, blackleg, enabler, traitor, it means they don't know the British value of tolerance. When you see people who don't take their responsibility, people who have never looked into the laws of Cameroon to challenge the government of La République du Cameroon, because British Cameroon National Party says politics is an alternative to war. We don't need war. If you read their laws, you can use it to fight them. They torture people, they don't read their laws. And most people don't, because we of British Cameroon National Party, we believe in the British value of the rule of law. When you don't try to stand for election as councillors, as member of parliament, and challenge the institution, and try you yourself to make sure you become that member of parliament, rather than saying that, oh, Frundi, try, you're not Frundi. Rather than saying Bello Buba, try, you're not Bello Buba. Try and stand. Because if you look at the history of most countries, especially the Americans, who started fighting for black people? Marco Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. You have a host of others. Who became president? Obama. So you start fighting. It doesn't mean because you're fighting for change, you're an activist, it must happen when you're living. That's not the case. And British Cameroon National Party is fighting for the interests of the people of the Cameroons. We don't care whether we are the MPs. We don't care whether we are the councillors. We don't care whether we are the mayor. We fight for you, and we will fight for you. That's why you have Boya University. That's why you have GCE board. That's why you have multipartism in theory. That's why you have special statute and the call for the major national dialogue. You have to fight for the people, not for yourself. A lot of people have benefited from Boya University because of us. They could not study in Guaquele because of the French. They used to go to Nigeria for jams. Those who cannot send their kids abroad to Western countries, we fought for that. Today, a lot of people are teaching. A lot of people have passed through Boya University, but no one single of them have said, Meche Mola Alex Ndive, thank you. Mr. Bia never wake up and gave us Boya University. We fought for it. Same with multipartism. The people who are there now, senators, MP, they challenge us. They don't know that they were not fighting with us. So we have that lazy people in the Cameroons, that they don't fight for something, but they want to benefit from what they did not fight. And that is why our country cannot move forward. Ladies and gentlemen, for those people who have been talking about coalition, why is it that on the 11th of October 1992, after Mr. Biya won the election, you would have created a coalition with people and started working for 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years to defeat the government. But all of you, each time there's election, they chop people their money, CPDM. They send you people to come and cause confusion among the people who have been scrutinizing and holding the government to account. If there's one political party that have been scrutinizing and holding the government of La République du Cameroun to account, it's British Cameroon National Party. We have been challenging the policies of the government of La République du Cameroun for more than 35 years. All the other political parties and all so-called political actors, they only want to, I will be president, I will change. No, if you don't have a CV, what you have been doing since 1960 to current date, you are not fit to be a leader or a president. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll come back to the qualities of a president. On the 12th of October 1997, Mr. Biya defeated them again. They did not come and call for coalition. They only wait when they call for election. CPDM sent them to come and cause confusion, to legitimize Mr. Biya. That's what they are doing. People who you don't see them all through the years, they don't talk about the debt in our street. They don't talk about corruption, candidate or whatsoever. They don't stand and talk about the Anglophone problem. When election comes, they appear to come and cause confusion. We know them. In 1984, when Fon Goditinka challenged Mr. Biya for seceding by changing the name of United Republic of Cameroon, they sent them to challenge Fon Goditinka. We know them, all of them. They always come like shadows and pretend that they were not there. Then they say we are not CPDM. They are CPDM. They have benefited from the country. Let everybody who have got contracts, everybody who have benefited from taxpayers' money, let them come and put it. Let's see it. Let's be transparent. The leader of British Cameroon National Party, Maitre Mola Alex Ndivelisinger, I've never worked with the government. I've never joined any political party because I know no political party in the Cameroons is fit for purpose. That is why we created British Cameroon National Party. On the 9th of October again, 2011, Mr. Biya defeated them. They never say, okay, let's come together. That's what reasonable people they do. Let's come together and create one political, not political party with people with similar ideology. They did not. They disappear. Then they appear again on the 18th of October 2018. I want to be president. That's what they do. They are there to fight against democracy. They are not there because they can change a country. Nigel Farage, the leader of Reform Party in the UK, he just created the party. He has been fighting for the United Kingdom to come out from the Euro for more than 25 years. And he successfully removed the United Kingdom in the European Union because they want independence and sovereignty. Today, just over about less than 4 months, they have got 200,000 militants in Reform Party in UK. So, Mr. Farage can tell you that these are my militants. All those political parties will say you're leader of opposition. Can you show me a list of your paid members? Members who are paying to be members, because your members, your militants, are people who pay monthly or weekly fees. Those are your militants. If you don't have that list, it means you don't have militants. You cannot just be relying on voters who are not your militants. You have to build your own militants. Those are your military, those are your soldiers, those are your activists, but we don't have it in the Cameroons. I'm sure even the chop people, the money, CPDM, they cannot produce a list. So ladies and gentlemen, today, when people come and tell you, after you have been working hard, after they cannot stand and have a debate, a real debate with you, about the issues in the Cameroon, about economic, about health, about France CFA, about CEMAC, about monetary policy. They say, come and join me. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't join people who are fools. I call them fools because we Anglophones, we are suffering because we take people who lack leadership qualities and put them ahead of us. We saw that in the 1960s. We saw it in 1990s, and we are seeing it today. If you don't know how to lead, if you cannot come and debate with British Cameroon National Party, go back to your village. Go there. And one thing I will make sure, if you cannot go and stand in the street of your constituency or your village where you were born, you are not fit to be a presidential candidate. Because if you cannot tell your people, if your people cannot listen to you, so how do you think you can run a country? If you cannot unite your family or your tribe, how do you think you can unite a country like the Cameroons? If you cannot go and walk in the street of your constituency or your village where you come from, how can you run a country? It's impossible. So anybody who wants to be a presidential candidate, go to where you come from and walk in the street and announce your campaign where you come from. Then I will respect you. Because if the people cannot listen to you, if you cannot walk the street, then it's funny. In all democracies, including Western democracies, when Obama wanted to stand as president, you go to your constituency where it comes from, Chicago, you go and talk to your people. Bill Clinton, Arkansas. In the United Kingdom, if you want to stand for election, you go to your local area and talk to your people. Everybody, you cannot stand and say you want to launch your election. You talk to your family first. You talk to your locality that you want to stand. Then you can go and campaign anywhere. But people stay in their safe haven. Maybe in Yaoundé. Maybe they go to Boya because they cannot go to where they come from. If your people cannot listen to you, you are not fit to be a leader. And ladies and gentlemen, you cannot take 12 months and build a coalition. We, British Cameroon National Party, we are not interested in 2025 election. We are looking at the long run. And we are not in power. And insofar as we are not in power, anything we want to do, we'll challenge or put proposal to the government. We want constitutional reform. We want the recognition of the two countries that came together, equal status. That's what we do. We fight for electricity. We fight for water. I was in the Cameroons in 2022. We made sure that I exposed how our streets are dirty. It's today that people are seeing what I was doing. Nobody joined me when I was in Cameroon. When I was pointing how dirty our street was, everybody was silent. That is leadership. So ladies and gentlemen, we see people come today. In Western democracy, which is what I want to see in the Cameroons, in Africa, voters judge candidates on their personal characteristics. This includes relevant factors like such things such as your experience. Come and tell us your experience. Come and tell us that's all true. Honesty. People have stolen property, having sacred contracts with the government of La République du Cameroun, and they have benefited themselves. We want us to have that discussion. Transparency. We look at your morality. There are a lot of things I won't say here on this social media because the Cameroons is not right for democracy. If you talk about it, some people will take it personal. But in the United Kingdom, we say anything, personal thing. People who cannot unite, even their own family, but they want to unite a country. In Western world, we talk about it. That's politics. People who need leadership, you need compassion, competence. What have you ever done that have been successful? As a leader of British Cameroon National Party, I've said as a team, we have fought for multipartism. We fought for GCE, but Boya University. People were locked up in the Cameroons. Students were beaten. We fought, strike all over the world. And what happened? The government of La République released those people. That's leadership quality. You need leadership quality. You don't just come all of us, we have jobs, we work for ourselves, we do blah, blah, blah. You don't come, my quality is just because of my job. No, what have you done to the community? I've never worked with the government, but the things that have influenced for more than 35 years, that is leadership. So, for somebody to come and talk to us, oh, I want to be president, your leadership must be more than my own leadership. Your experience can do. Gone are those days that I will go, people will join and follow Pahamuna, Pahafoncha. I would have gone for Dr. Indeli, not Pahamuna and Poncha. Gone are those days where people will go for Mr. Ibibi Fundi. I would have gone for Molange Kaluma or Molanjoli Tumbe. So gone are those days. If you cannot come and prove your experience, ladies and gentlemen, as a leader, there are qualities that you need to possess. I don't have an exhaustive list of those qualities, but you must be in a position that you have that leadership, strong leadership skill. I see most people of the Cameroons. You ask them to come and talk with you, to debate, they are scared. As a leader, you have to have effective communication power. That's a skill. Effective. Don't go and stand in front of a TV and be talking by yourself. We of British Cameroon National Party, we are ready to debate with Mr. Biasi PDM. We are ready to debate with everybody. But most of them are scared because they will be cut out. When you put them, you ask them about issues about the Cameroons. They don't know. British Cameroon National Party, we have been on the background. We have studied the Cameroons. We know the solution. We know how to close the back hole. And we know how to make British Cameroon and La République du Cameroon great again. Strong leadership needs empathy, integrity, motivation, adaptability, delegation, resilience, self-awareness, ability to make sound decisions and to inspire a team. British Cameroon National Party leadership have been doing that. Most people talk today about Anglophone problem. We started it, about 10 of us at the High Commission, Cameroon, London High Commission. 10 of us. It went viral. Europe, America, China, until Mr. Biya called for a major national dialogue. Unfortunately, most people were afraid to go there. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you look at Africa, we lack leaders. 54 African presidents, they will come to London, they put them inside a van, a bus. They do that, that's it. I would have told you, no, it doesn't work that way. It's my privilege as a president of a country, I will use my car. But they were schoolboys. 54 African leaders, they will call them in China, they go like schoolboys. They will call them in Francophonie, they go like schoolboys. They will call them to Russian or American African Summit, they go like schoolboys. Africa, the level is so low. British Cameroon National Party want to raise that level of leadership, where we have people who can sit and challenge the Western government and stand face to face. President Trump just became president, running for the second term. They have proposed to give him state visit. Why are they not proposing all those common law African leaders state visit in the United Kingdom? Because you are useless. And we are going to make leadership in Africa to be great again. None of them, for how many years? They have sat there. No checks and balances. No separation of power. Oh, if you put me in power, I'm the president, I will change it. Why have you not been fighting for it? Show us your CV. What have you been doing so that the judiciary of the Cameroon should be independent? What have you been doing so that France CFA should not be used in our country? What have you been doing so that the joint sovereignty between CEMAC countries and the Cameroon should stop? We are not independent. What are you going to do? How do you stop French cooperation agreement? How do you stop ministers who don't have power? They sit in France, they determine the economy, they make the money, they decide on interest rate, if they want to devalue our currency or not. They just put window dressing ministers while the Cameroons is being run in France. How are you going to stop that? British Cameroon National Party have a plan. We need leadership that have emotional intelligence, where you have people who have good moral and empathy towards others. There are three characteristics of empathy: emotional intelligence, active listening, and compassion. That's what we have been doing. We used to go all over the Cameroons. I remember when there was no social media, I went for the first time to Ngembo to meet Pamuna. Went to Mbengui, the square, we're talking in the market, in Nkwen Park, Yaoundé, everywhere. We were listening to people. Because I disagree with Solomon Tamde Muna, I still went there, Pa. What happened? What happened? He explained it to us. I went to Foncha Street too. Pa Foncha explained it to us, despite the fact that I do not agree with them. I went to Finance Junction, Pandanga. I talked with Pandanga. I'm talking about more than 30 years ago. Lawan Bako, Molanjo. We talked with these people more than 30. I was a boy. Because why? We could listen. We have that emotional feeling for our people. We used to walk in the Cameroons, collect signatures. Went to Pandi's house. Pandi, whether is it Cow Street or Ghana Street, maybe Cow Street. Collect signatures. Before the Pamuna and Pafoncha, they were going to the United Nations. They did not choose by themselves, say we are going there. We forced them. We collected signatures and said, go to that United Nations. We were young boys and girls. It was for free. Nobody paid us for that. We used our money to travel. No GoFundMe. So that was what we were doing. That is my CV. And British Cameroon National Party have moved forward. We don't believe that you must be a president to change a country. All the changes that have come in the Cameroons was because of protests, not because we were president or whatsoever. So people who tell you that if I become a president, I will do this, look at their CV. What have they been doing all through their life? If you have never been fighting for a change in the Cameroons, it's not when you will be president that you go and fight. Most fighters, they start fighting when they are young. And you know, okay, this man has been fighting for me. If this man has been fighting for me without any taxpayers' money, if we give him taxpayers' money, he's going to change his country. That's what you look at. That is what we do. Ladies and gentlemen, most people, they sit there. I will make this clear. Not everybody is an activist, but one way or another, you can support someone. I expect people who are benefiting because of my activism, multipartism, Boya University, National Conference Tripartite, Regional Assembly, faith to say, oh, Metro, let's listen. Thank you for what you did. I'm working today because of you. We have this job. I am going to Boya University because of you. I'm teaching in Boya University because of you. But they stand against people like myself. We are aware of that. When you fight for the people, you're not popular. Jesus Christ was not popular. Martin Luther King was not popular. Malcolm X was not popular. Mandela was not popular. So I know I'm not looking for popularity contest. I want to bring that change. I want to see electricity all over the Cameroons, water all over the Cameroons. And it's something that I've been doing. Government don't implement the policies of opposition. I'm an opposition. All I can do is to scrutinize and hold the government to account. And I want to see opposition to be what? Opposition in the Cameroon should be official. It is not. Because you stand for election doesn't make you official. Opposition will become only official when they will recognize the party with the second majority in parliament. You stand face to face and challenge the government and ask Mr. Biya question. Mr. Biya will have to answer rather than hiding in a tutti. That is the only time that the opposition in the Cameroons will become official. But most people don't know that. They only want to be president. They don't know they are not official. So if it happens that you win the election, you go there, there will be no official opposition. It's British Cameroon National Party's policy. And it is the first time that most of you are knowing or understanding that opposition in the Cameroons is not official. Registration without a function doesn't mean anything. They have to enact a law. They have to make sure that government gives some policies to them. Then they sit, they challenge the government, ask Mr. Bia's question. That is democracy. Democracy is not just election. As a leader, you need a genuine desire to serve the people. You work towards policies that will benefit the people. Ladies and gentlemen, tell me all these people. You want to be presidential candidate. For the last 30 years or 35 years, what have you been doing that have benefited the people? Ladies and gentlemen, it is through my hardship that I said people should not suffer what I've been going through in my life. Why? You went to Ngwakele, 99% of public law was in French. We said, no, we, our Anglophone brother, we need English university. That is what benefits the community. When I was in CPC Bali, Rene Zengele wanted to assimilate our educational system. We walked from CPC Bali about 2 a.m., came to Bamenda, stopped all school. Rene Zengele did not assimilate our English educational system. That is working for the benefit of the people. I can name a lot of things. So when you want leadership, you want to lead, you have to tell us what you have been doing. You don't just appear and bring your laziness and say you can change things with your mouth. Action speaks louder than words. British Cameroon National Party leader Maître Moulin Alex Ndiveli Singh is a man of action. The only unofficial opposition in the Cameroons. You also need, as a leader, your willingness to compromise to common good. That is something that is lacking in most people in the Cameroons. You compromise for things that are beneficial for most members in a community. I'll give you an example. If somebody sits today, we don't want anything in the Cameroons until we have independence. So you're suffering somebody who hasn't got electricity, somebody who hasn't got water, good roads or what? If your goal is for independence, focus on the independence by doing what? Scottish National Party, the Green Party in the United Kingdom, they are not in power. They don't tell the British government, no, we don't want decentralization. No, we are federal. They don't do that. That's where novice they come in. Even if you want independence, there is politics in the country. Politics is alternative to war. Make sure you stand for election and start getting that mandate. If there's decentralization, if they have local authority, start getting the seat. Since 1992, most of the people who claim to be opposition leaders, if they had my knowledge, we would have advanced by now and be in a position where you find Scottish National Party and the Greens Party. Form of a state is not generally a manifesto, it's just one thing. You can be fighting for a reform of a constitution. But when you people talk about independence, I often say, if they give you a country today, what will you do? You don't have economic policy. You don't know what to talk about France CFA. You don't know transport, policing, environment, fishery, other things. You take time to plan for those things. They were asking Scottish National Party, if you have independence today, which money are you going to use? They say, oh, they will use the pounds fare, blah, blah, blah. So these are things that you prepare over the years. You don't just stand and be running your mouth on social media, that independence. People have to live. People have to eat every day. So fight for the little things. If you cannot fight for the little things for our people, then you cannot fight for bigger things. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody goes and run a country by saying, I'm independent. Most African countries, that's why they are so backwards. Because they had independence, they had no plan, they just gave it to them. Then the Western country continued to run their economy. They never question about UN. Why is it that the Security Council is only these people? Why is it that we cannot have nuclear weapons? They were just happy to call themselves president. Then they come abroad, the Midwestern leaders, I was with this Western leader. But they cannot see themselves. Look at all African leaders. They don't like seeing each other because they don't know how to run the country. How many times Mr. Biya, who have been president in the Cameroons for 42 years, how many times have he gone to Nigeria? I presume He should have been to Nigeria more than 100 and something times. Mr. Macron has been president, is it approximately 8 years? Every day is in Germany. Every day is in this other country. As president, you meet your neighbors. But African leaders, they only want to come to Europe or America because of inferiority complex. They cannot meet each other that often. If I was a president in the country for 42 years, I would have visited all African countries, maybe each of them about 10 times for 42 years. But Mr. Bia, I don't know when the last time he went to Tiko Oboya or Kumbo or Bali or other parts of the Cameroon. You cannot be a president without going to places in your country. It's very important. As leadership, most people come and say, I want to be a leader. Look at the people who support. I will not call their name. If the political party is, let me say, the leader of the party is a Nordist, most people who support it are Nordists. If the political party, the leader is a Basa, most people are Basa. If it comes from a particular tribe, you see the fault. That's how it is. But however, to me, that's not a problem. Because we are a tribe, we are a nation. We have to make our laws so that our laws should replicate who we are. We cannot just say we are French or English. We are not French or English. We have our cultural differences. British Cameroon National Party is talking about French institution in French Cameroon and English institution in English Cameroon. It's not about, I'm not trying to tell them that we are French or English. No, because they cannot be imposing French institution on us. That's the difference. That's the difference. So we are saying we want more liberal institution. So we look at the diversities in the Cameroon, but most people, they don't. We are different. Even among Anglophones, we are different. We have different diversities, different political opinion, different religion, different society. That's why when some people say Anglophones should come together, it will never work because Anglophones are not a political party. We are different. If you want people to come together, put a manifesto, put what you stand for, people will read it. Political parties are open to everyone. I have friends who are from La République du Cameroun. They are supporting my ideology. It doesn't mean because you are Anglophone, all Anglophones should be in your party. No, there are Anglophones who are CPDM. There are Anglophones who are UNDP, MTR, other political parties. So you cannot say we should come together. That is ignorance. That's ignorance, ladies and gentlemen. It took British Cameroon National Party members more than 35 years to understand the Cameroons and to come out with the policy. Some people think they can just come today and say, come and join me, come for coalition. It's lack of experience. They are political numbskull. They are obscurantists. They don't know what they are doing. If you want to challenge British Cameroon National Party, bring your CV. We are the only political party that's going to change the Cameroons. And we have the momentum, we have the integrity, we have the probity. This is our time. This is our moment. Ladies and gentlemen, once more, this has been a party political broadcast by myself, Maitre Mola Alex Ndive Lisinke, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Have a very, very wonderful day.
Docteur, tout Joseph, professeur à Los Angeles. Comment pouvez-vous nommer un individu à un poste pendant 25 ans? 20 ans, directeur de tant. Vous partagez le pouvoir avec vos familles. Vous partagez le pouvoir avec vos amis. Vous partagez le pays avec vos familles. Vous partagez le pays avec vos familles. Et après quand ils ont volé, vous appelez les papiers, les attrapés. Et après quand ils ont volé, vous appelez les papiers, les attrapés. Qui les avait nommés d'abord dans ce poste-là?